Hello guys. So, what if I told you you might have been training Jiu-Jitsu wrong this whole time, okay? Not everyone, obviously, but probably, let's just say probably, okay? Because guys, look, I've been all around the world, okay? I've lived in the most eastern side of the world. I'm living in US now. I've been in the mid, okay, like Turkey and like a bit around there. And I've been to many other Asian countries and stuff as well. Not only that, I have trained with people from all countries because I've been mostly living in international cities and so on. So I've seen it all, okay? I've joined like seminars under very, very good coaches. I've competed in Worlds and Asian, IBJF, whatever. And so on and so forth, okay? Let's not go in there too much. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, like I have had the chance to observe all kinds of training environments and people, right? And I do believe, guys, I truly believe Jiu-Jitsu, okay, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the way it's taught in general is super outdated, super outdated, okay? And it just relies on basically teaching a few techniques every day. It's a collection of techniques. The basic curriculum is a collection of techniques, and you're gonna learn a few of these every day, 2 to 3 every day, and you're gonna roll and you're gonna go back home. Now, we have to understand, of course, not everybody that trains Jiu-Jitsu has the same goals, right? Like, I mean, some guys might just be like, you know what, man, I mean, I'm working hard every day. I have family, I have kids. I just wanna go to the academy. I hope someone can structure something okay enough for me. You know, I train a little bit, learn a few techniques, and go back home, man. I just want to, you know, sweat a little bit. That's it. That's all I'm asking for from Jiu-Jitsu, which is cool, which is awesome. Absolutely no problem. But eventually, guys, like, you might start off like that. But from what I see, eventually, almost all or most of the people who start training Jiu-Jitsu and stick to it, period of time, right? They want to get good at it too. You know, like, you're doing this, you're paying all the money. Why don't you want to be good at it? And when I say be good at it, I'm not saying like you have to be like a world champion. No, not everybody has to be at that level. Come on, no. But they want to be kind of relatively good compared to themselves, right? Like where they could have been. You know, they don't want to necessarily be winning all the Jiu-Jitsu like Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and stuff, but eventually they want to get better and better. So, in my opinion, okay, if you do want to get better and better, no matter how slow that speed is going to be, okay, it can be super slow, just like one step further every month, whatever your goal is, I support you, man. Not everybody has to be perfect in Jiu-Jitsu, but if you want to improve just a little, right, I think how you train matters, okay? I do kind of think it matters a lot, actually. Now, here's the thing. Here's where I see the problem, okay? Like, there are actually a few problems, but let's talk about them. Now, number one thing, guys, in a lot of places, Jiu-Jitsu is seen as a combination or like collection of techniques, okay? Please excuse my English, by the way. I'm a foreigner, you know, I'm not a native English speaker, so if I screw anything, I'm sorry, okay? But overall, yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is taught as a collection of techniques in most of the places that I've seen. The problem is, though, it isn't, right? It's a martial art, guys. It's a martial art. It's not chess. We can make a totally different video on this as well. Like, Jiu-Jitsu was taught as a chess. There was even, I don't know if any of you guys remember, like more than 10 years ago, Jiu-Jitsu chess was a form of training. I still do it for fun. I still teach it for fun sometimes, but that sort of training is not super useful. I do a move, he doesn't move. I mean, it is useful maybe in its own way, but what I'm trying to say is that's not Jiu-Jitsu. I do a technique, you do a technique. I do a technique, you do a technique. That's not Jiu-Jitsu. That's chess. The totally different thing. Okay. In Jiu-Jitsu, like, you have to really understand what you're doing overall, in my opinion, and you have to do the best decision, or like, of course, automatically. Maybe, you know, a lot of things will be done automatically after a certain period, but like, there's gonna be different situations, and you creating these different situations, not always waiting for your partner to move his piece, you know what I mean? Or guide your opponent to give you these situations that you're trying to create. And then you're gonna start hitting your movements. Now, what does that mean? Maybe it's a bit complicated. Let me try to open up a little bit. No, so let me put it this way. A lot of times when I go somewhere, you know, there's gonna be some people that they're gonna tell me, hey man, you know, I'm in close guard, okay? I've seen this technique before in YouTube or whatever, DVD. I try to do the technique, it doesn't work. You know, I'm holding from the right location, okay? I'm doing the move, you know, I'm moving around and I'm hitting the triangle, it doesn't work. Why? Well, a lot of times the answer is that the triangle is not there. That's why, you know. You memorize the technique, you memorized how the technique is done overall. Hold it here, move there, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't really understand why it works, you know. Let me give you another example. Look, let's move deeper and deeper. It's gonna all make sense in a bit, guys. Just bear with me, please. Imagine you join a boxing class, okay? I don't know if any of you guys have trained boxing before, but imagine you just joined your first class. What are you taught? How to walk, some fitness exercises, how to hold your guard, you know, for a few classes, right? Maybe some super basic punches. But overall, you're gonna understand, oh, look, if my opponent's here, okay, I don't need to keep punching his face over and over again. Eventually, if his hands are high, oh, maybe I can punch him in the ribs, right? Or if his hands are low, and now look, the face is open. Now I can punch him in the face, something like this, right? But is that how we learn Jiu-Jitsu? Really? No, we just memorize. Okay, oh, there's this technique from close guard. Oh, there's this technique from this position, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, if you want to be efficient with your techniques, if you want to execute well, right? Now you have to understand this same concept that, oh, if my opponent's hands are down, right? You don't have to be like expert striker. You know, you can hit him in the face. If his hands are high, oh, you can hit him in the body, right? So that same thing applies to Jiu-Jitsu too, actually. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, you're in the close guard. You don't just hit a triangle because you learned it in the class before. Now, for the triangle, you need a certain set of exposures. So that's what we're going to be looking for a lot of times when we attack our opponents, when you want to submit them, sweep them, whatever. You're looking for exposures. So what does that mean? For example, oh, in order to get a triangle, you need the posture exposure. His posture is broken. He's leaning forward or something. Okay? His shoulders, he's giving you the right shoulder alignment. Maybe one forward, one behind. Or even better, one arm inside your guard, one arm outside of your guard. Look, oh, we are getting to free triangle zone now. He's giving it to you free now. You know what I mean? Your hips are close enough, maybe, or his posture is, actually we already talked about, so posture is kind of low. Elbows flaring out, right? Elbow exposure, because with the triangle, if you're always like this, it's going to be harder to do a triangle, right? Even if I'm like one in, one out, it might be a bit harder sometimes. So, you see, there's certain exposures that has to be there, or you create those situations, or your opponent gives it to you, whatever. Then you're going to be able to hit your triangles. And now, oh, okay, look, if you think it like this, right? For example, for a lot of submissions, you'll need the elbow exposure. You know, maybe not all, but for Kimura. Can you do Kimura when the guy is here all the time? Or can you do a Kimura when, can you do an armbar if the opponent's arms are always here? You don't even separate it from here? Can you do a triangle when these arms are constantly sticking here? Or hit an arm like guillotine? You see what I mean? So you need to think about these exposures, right? Like, or for the sweeps. Your opponent, like a lot of times, man, you know, I had this opponent, he's a judo guy, he's like, oh, his base is super, super well, I cannot sweep him. Yeah, but at the same time, you're just probably memorize some techniques. You're probably start from close guard, trying to hit the scissor sweep, which doesn't work. It does, okay? But then, your opponent is a judo guy, he already the base is super low, and you're trying to hit it over and over again. Man, it doesn't work. Oh, Jiu-Jitsu sweep, sorry, scissor sweep is bullshit. No, my friend, no. What you're looking for is not there yet. Maybe you need to change your game a little bit. Look, you have to think. If my opponent, oh, email, thanks. So if your opponent is constantly kneeling, close base, right? He's closing up, he's making himself smaller. What kind of sweeps that might give me actually? Maybe instead of trying to hit a scissor sweep, my legs outside, right? Maybe I try to put the lever inside. Maybe I try to elevate him with a butterfly-ish hook. Does it make sense? Maybe I even change for a butterfly guard from there with different grips. If he's keeping the elbows in, I cannot put my hands under the elbows now. So maybe I do a butterfly sweep with like a bit more outside-ish grips, maybe with the belt grip. Stuff like that. Starting to make sense more now. You see what I'm saying? So guys, This is the first important thing. Like, techniques don't just work because you want to do them. You know what I mean? You have to generate the environment. Like, the environment has to be there for you to hit that certain submission or attack. So then it's gonna work. Unless you're super strong, you're like, oh man, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. If I wanna scissor sweep someone, they're gonna fly. Okay, good, but you probably don't need jiu-jitsu then. You know what I mean? You're tough, bro. I always assume like I'm much weaker than anybody else when I'm training jiu-jitsu. Hope it makes sense. And the other thing is, guys, having good fundamentals. Look, let's talk about this too, because a lot of people who start training jiu-jitsu now are just like, for example, you just started. You're gonna learn fundamentals, which going to be most of the times the fundamental program in your academy. And again, we're gonna come back to this again. Technique-based jiu-jitsu, memorizing technique-based jiu-jitsu, which is, in my opinion, harmful in the long term. It's good for beginner classes, because beginner classes, guys, they don't even know what they're doing. Now you have to teach them how to do hip escape in the wrong way. You have to teach them how to do bridge in the wrong way so they can learn the actual motion. You see, they're beginners, they are doing intro class, you know, but that should not be named, in my opinion, foundational class, because foundation means the stuff you're going to use from white belt to black belt, you know. The problem is, though, when you're like at higher levels, you're not just gonna memorize techniques and try to hit them from everywhere like random. Okay, I'm this spider guy. I have 50 techniques from here. Which one should I try? This one. Oh, I don't know. That's not how it works, man. You're gonna constantly control your opponent, looking for exposure, unbalance him, and when a certain let's say exposure is there, you're gonna take advantage of it and apply the necessary technique. That's how it's gonna work, right? So in the fundamental classes, though, right? You're learning certain techniques over and over again, like two techniques from here, 3 techniques from that, blah, blah, blah. And then you're trying to hit those automatically. Again, for beginner classes, it makes sense because you have to teach them something. They have to have an entry to jiu-jitsu. But for the fundamental stuff, like it's not how it works. Like in the fundamental, there are a lot of other topics, like your posture. Where should your elbows be at all times? You know what I mean? Even how you should be breathing, how you should be putting your techniques together. Because these sort of skills are going to be used from white belt to the black belt. So we can discuss this later. Like, what is fundamental? We can have a different video on this. But what I'm trying to say, when you start joining these beginner classes or fundamental program in your academy or whatever, and you're just taught how to do techniques, memorizing techniques, that's not how it's going to work in the long term. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, anytime you learn a technique, try to learn why each of these techniques work. Like, what, for example, instead of just saying, I should hold here, I should hold there, think about when I'm holding here, what kind of exposure I'm gaining. You know what I mean? When I get this collar grip, what kind of exposure this is giving me, what kind of control this is giving me. Try to understand a bit further. And then as you go beyond your beginner or fundamental program or whatever, try to build your new game like this too. Try to apply this to your training, because otherwise, unless your coach gives you this set of skills, guys, if your coach doesn't teach you how to train jiu-jitsu, doesn't teach you how to think in jiu-jitsu, okay, you'll need to build this up by yourselves, okay. But then oh man, Yunus, you know, maybe I'm training in this like small city, or I don't know, our coach never teaches us this kind of stuff. How do you get into this kind of thinking? Okay, let's put it this way. Like, a lot of you guys here like my dummy training videos before, right? Now, I don't have dummies too much at the moment. I have one, but anyways, I'll do some videos later. Whatever. What I'm trying to say, for example, let's say you're gonna drill your passing techniques. Hey, let's, for example, I'm talking to beginners, by the way, not the experienced guys, right? Choose some passes for you when you're at the far range, right? You just started touching your opponent's legs. Drill the techniques from there. Find 1 or 2 techniques that you can combine from there and just keep going for those. And what about if I get a bit closer than that? Maybe I get into this, you know, mid-level where people start playing De La Hiva and reverse with this kind of stuff. Some techniques from there. Look, train this separately. So this way, oh, I'm far. I'm going to go for these techniques. Oh, my opponent's putting on De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva. I'm getting closer. Apply these kind of techniques. Oh, I'm even closer. Let's say I'm so close that I'm in the half guard level, or like I have double underhooks on my opponent's leg. Okay, let's drill some techniques from there. Does it make sense? And try to create this kind of mentality for yourself. Far range, middle range, closer range, even closer range, like half guard, something like this. And then things are gonna start opening up to you guys. You know what I mean? You're gonna start seeing things. You're gonna be able to choose your techniques much better. You can just like I said, you can drill it like this. Or if you don't want to train or drill in terms of range only, well, why not think about, for example, I'm gonna drill. Let's say you're drilling with a partner. I'm gonna drill some kind of guard attacks when only my opponent's legs are available to me, or only when his arms are available to me, or both are available to me. So what are my guards for each of these situations? And then choose your techniques from there. And then choose, oh, my opponent just gives me one single arm exposure, or his posture exposure and the arm. Which techniques hit these kind of situations now? Let's think. And then start building up your game. Does it make sense? Try to form your drills or your training or roles or position sparring with a thought concept like this. I don't know the word for this, but you understand what I mean, right? You understand what I mean? So hopefully. And in my opinion, your jiu-jitsu is gonna get better if you can do that. Like, if you could summarize, try to learn jiu-jitsu. Don't just memorize technique. Try to learn why everything works. Learn the concepts. Look, there was a big discussion over this before, right? We should be learning techniques, man. We should drilling those non-stop. No. We should be drilling concept. No. You need all. You need good fundamentals. So good fundamentals can because if you have good fundamentals, like we said, these are skills from white belt. That's gonna go into the black belt. Even the new techniques you see, you're gonna understand everything immediately. Oh, this is the situation. This is the exposure. This is the timing. Everything's gonna make sense immediately. So build up good foundations. Don't just memorize techniques. Learn jiu-jitsu as a whole, the concepts, the techniques, the idea, strategies, mental part of the thing, whatever. Try to be more holistic, try to systemize everything. Then, in my opinion, guys, that's how the Pandora's box open for you in jiu-jitsu, you know. If you just, guys, memorize techniques, you're gonna be a good librarian, okay? You're gonna be a good librarian who saw a lot of things, who watched a lot of things, memorize all videos, where the videos are, who shot these videos, which words they use, but you're gonna be able to apply what? Apply probably, don't say nothing, but you're not gonna be hitting your potential, because your game is gonna be random, dice game. Let's choose a technique today, boom, let's choose a guard, and nothing's gonna work, you'll see. I mean, it's gonna work obviously, but I mean, you see what I mean, you're not gonna hit your potential. Something to think about. Okay, guys, hopefully it made sense. And I'm still settling in. Okay, guys, I'm applying for my driving license. I got my social security, blah, blah, blah. I promised I'm gonna be hitting more videos as time goes on. I'm gonna put more technical stuff, drilling stuff, maybe some dummy stuff. I don't have a good dummy. I'm sorry. If you wanna donate one to us or something, send over my way. I can shoot videos with it, no problem. But at the moment, I don't have any dummies, and I cannot now ask the owner to buy just one for me and the videos. I'm sorry, you know. But yeah, I'll put more content as time goes on. Give me some time. I'm building up there. Okay. Much love, guys. Love you all. Thank you so much. I love this country. Yeah, everything is awesome. Yeah. Hope to see you guys with more content, right? And once more, apologize for my accent, my words. I might be saying the things wrong. Hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying, man. Anyways, much love. Take care, guys.